Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to First Saturday Shift. As we're shifting through grief and beyond loss, I welcome you back. I'm Courtney Lee Smith, your host. I serve as your grief strategist, your grief educator. And this morning, I'm going to give you something so that we can continue this journey in a productive and prosperous way. Because the key is that we thrive through our losses. And it might be a little technical glitch. The video in the beginning was doing a little clicking and a glitching. So I don't know if it's the wind and the rain and the storm that is heading this way. And it's key in life. Sometimes we're in the midst of a storm where it's heading our way or one that has just passed. But in the question of today, do we continue to ride on? Or do we allow that storm to keep us stagnant, that we don't allow ourselves to continue our specific journey? So the question today is, would you continue your journey if you knew that the end was near? Or would you just begin to fear the end? Would you continue your journey if you knew the end was near? And the question why I say that is because everybody that has joined this line, you've experienced loss. That's why you're here. Whether it is the physical death of someone or the distancing of a live relative or just that disengagement or the disappointment or the disconnection from a job, a dismissal, or our finances diminishing, whatever that deed that has occurred in your life is creating some kind of grief because of that loss. And so the question today really is, if you knew the journey was going to end soon, would you continue the journey? And the answer to that question is, we all know the journey is going to end, because I'm going to take you all with me to Psalms 47 and 48. Because I want to read this in the scripture, because we all know it's going to end. And in Psalm 89, 47 and 48. And in 47, it starts off, remember how short my life is, how empty and futile this human existence. No one can live forever. All will die. No one will escape the power of the grave, the interlude. And so when I was reading the scripture, I was like, that really doesn't sound like something that I really want to talk about, because it doesn't sound like hope. It doesn't sound like this great strategy to make us happy along the journey. But what I realize is sometimes God gives us a revelation of what he has already told us, and we seem like we forget. And that is where we need to remember that no one is going to ride with us forever. And we can't even continue to ride on forever. So as we always do here on the show, I take you all to the analogy of you all selves as a vehicle. And the key, what makes me think about that. So let's think about when you've purchased your first car, or when you got your first car, when it was gifted to you in the very first car that you ever had. Did you expect it to last forever? You knew that the car wasn't going to last forever. It just wasn't constructed that way. And the thing is, I want to take you all, when I say that, you got a vehicle. The vehicle, the flesh, and that's what it says in the scripture, this human existence, which is this flesh, was never designed to last forever. It is the spiritual body that was designed to last forever. That's what was designed to last forever, because we in the place when we were moved outside of Eden, the perfect place, the place where we were supposed to exist forever, when we moved outside of that place. And that's like a vehicle. When we moved outside of the dealership and we began to drive and to move and have to exist beyond just our spiritual existence, that is when the clock began to tick on us. Now, when we were in Eden, we were taken care of 100% by God. And we were supposed to last forever. God created us that way. But when we decided to move that vehicle out of that space, there was a timeline. So, and I say, well, what is it that you're coming to tell us today? That's a great question, because the thing is, I want you to know on this journey, you do know there is an end. There is an end. For me, there is an end for all of your passions that will ride with you. There was everybody who comes and contact you in an assignment. There is an end to the ride, whether they pass away or whether it's just another type of life transition where we have to part our ways. There is a time that the ride will end. Now, the key that I want to go into, it says, remember how short my life. So if we remember, we won't waste so much time because it's a short timeline. That means when they're riding with us, we will use that time wisely. And you say, okay, so now let's go back and think about the things that we have that have already passed in transition. Think about the positive time that we've spent together. Think about the things that we have learned together. So on this journey of the journeys that have already stopped, the passengers that have already had to get out of the vehicle, go back and write a list of the things in their life, no matter how short it was. Think about the things that they have already planted within you. Y'all know we in this harvest season, but it's not always about plucking things up. It's about putting seeds back in and going inside and analyzing what is already within you. So think about the good seeds that already have been planted in you. So think about what have they planted in you that is good, that you can still carry on the journey. So just because the fleshly existence says in, that's what it says, a futile fleshly existence, because our flesh will have us chasing so many things in this world. But remember, in the spiritual world, what is it that we're taking in? What is it that we're giving? What is it that we're giving God glory to? So God, right now in this place, remember to give God glory to the seeds. So it's that short time. What was the encounter with that individual? Was it, or the encounter with that job, or the encounter with that place? What did it do to your spirit? What did it do to lift it? So those are the things that you remember. So you can whip out your journal and begin to write those things. And on a daily basis, remember those things, even though the ride is over. What was the positive things about that passenger, about that journey, about that experience? Those are the things that still live on. So it is just the death interlude. It's just a little break. So while you're on that interlude, you're growing and you're stretching. That's what it says. It's an interlude. It's not a place that we live and reside forever. It's just an interlude. And so in the midst of that interlude, that is when you are taking the time, because Christ is already prepared for us to not live in the grave. That's just an interlude. That's just a resting place, a stopping point. So if you remember, it's just an interlude and it's not forever in that place. That's where you know that you have seeds of growth within you, seeds that will allow you to still be fruitful and multiply. Because what I want to tell you, and you know, when I was doing this, I was thinking, oh, where is the hope in this? The hope is that there are seeds within you that still can grow, that will show fruition from the people that you encounter. The thing is, you have to make sure it's the seeds of goodness, God, that has given you. Because, you know, every encounter, you can experience the good and the bad, but what are we weighing in on? You know, we can think about the things that that person did to us and we feel like we can't forgive and we feel like we can't get over. But the thing is, that ride is over. So take the positive from that ride and learn those lessons so we don't be crippled and broke down and on the side of the road on our journey. Because like he said, the journey is short. Do we want to spend our journey stuck? Do we want to spend our journey on the side of the road and not actually fulfilling our assignment? So the key is to what are you putting back in during this harvest season? What is going to grow for you in this next year? What is going to grow for you for this year and the next 25 years? However long you still have on this journey, what is going to grow and be produced in your life based on how you plant things back in the ground? Are you just planting hurt? Are you just planting heartbreak? Are you planting joy? Are you planting happiness? Are you replanting integrity, the characteristics of the person who you encountered, the joy of the job, that journey that you were on, whatever it was for that particular time period? Thank God for that one. So that's on that journey, that short life. And it says how empty and futile the human, because the thing is, there are a lot of things, and when it's empty is because we are burning up energy on things that are not assigned to us. It's that emptiness that we have. So in this place, I early in the morning today, at the beginning of a next month, take time and say, God, what is it that I should be using my energy for? That's the question you should be asking yourself. I don't want to be busy. I want to be productive, and I want to be prosperous with every assignment that you give me. God, I want to be in this place. Have that conversation with God. God, I don't want to waste time being angry. God, I don't want to waste time being bitter, because it's already told us the time is short. What are you spending your time on? God, I don't want to spend time stressing about the end. God, I don't want to spend time, God, being depressed about the unknown. God, I don't want to be anxious about tomorrow or the next step, because God knows we all have to go through something. We all have to go through something. And so it's just in this moment, as I said, I just want to drop in. And if this gives you just a little bit of hope or a little bit of push in this month, so that you can find that new next beyond the loss, and understand that that particular ride had to end. That particular journey was just a part of the final destination that we all have to come to. It was just a part of God's plan. And that's the key. Understanding it was a part of the plan. And so when we understand that the plan is even beyond us, because somebody has to release us from being a passenger in their life also at some point. So enjoy the human existence, but make sure that you are fully living in your spiritual being, what will live on forever in eternity. That you are grasping the joys of life, that you are capturing those encounters and experiences, and actually cultivating those seeds within your spirit, so that you are actually doing our assignment, multiplying and being fruitful, so that you are turning around, dropping seeds in other people's lives that are fruitful as well. Let's not live a futile spiritual existence as well. And that's why I say, for anybody that's jumping in and want to know where we're coming from Psalms 89, 47, 48. And that is talking about our short life, so that we do know that the journey is going to expire. We just don't know the day, and we don't know the time. But on this existence, make sure whatever encounter or experience that you have with others, you are taking the time to strain the good God experience out of it. So I always say there is a shifting process, there is a sifting process, so that you can move beyond the loss and capture the things that you need to with people on the ride that are assigned to you. And it may be that you thought that person or that experience or that job or the connection was going to be with you forever. But if we understand and answer the question that we started off with today, if we knew the journey was going to end, would we still stay on the journey? And the answer is yes, because we all know the journey is going to end. But what are you doing on the journey? Are you just being alive, or are you fully living? So today, your challenge is to go out and fully live, go out and have life, making sure that you are fulfilling your spiritual assignment, you are fulfilling your purpose, you are living fully, because this human existence will cause us to be so futile, and our ride will be over before we know it, because we are trying to chase and look like and be like and do the things of other people. So today, as you wake up in this new month, in this new place, in this harvest season, number one, just take time to go back and reflect on the things that you already have, and use those seeds to multiply and be fruitful. Don't eat up everything that has been left for you. Don't eat it up all. Don't waste it all. Use those seeds to replant and recultivate. And those were the things that will carry you on until the journey ends. So I thank you all for jumping in. And yes, this Saturday morning was just a little different. It wasn't a one step, two step, three step. It was just a reminder of what we need, the assignment that has already been given to us, in the end of the journey that is already before each and every one of us. So remember today to be challenged on your journey. And if you need to be challenged, there are some things that we're doing here at the relationship service station. Um, and they are going to be, I want to always talk about, I want what you do in the end reflects your beginning. And I always like to say, and how you want to begin. So if you're in a place and that is not how you want to begin, let's start making a shift. Let's start making a change. Let's become a better version of yourself. So at the end, this last quarter of this natural year of 2022, we're going to do some things that will help us multiply and plan out and be the best version of ourselves for our spiritual 2023. So I would love to see you forward in those things. And if you want to make sure you're a part of that email list, make sure you jump over to the relationship service station, join our email list so you can get the notification of the things that are coming up. It's some wonderful things coming up for our teens and our youth in the month of November and December. It is a great function that's coming on for the men and the women who want to be the best version of themselves, and we want to release yesterday, stop carrying yesterday, and move forward and living fully in our today. Thank you all for joining me.